Hello and welcome to Boxes of Comics. Tonight we talk about Star Wars Visions. Uh, like always, this is episode 5 now, and it is called The Ninth Jedi. A little bit about this is it premiered on the premiere day of the entire show as all the episodes had launched. Um, so this is season 1, episode 5. A little bit of background behind this is that basically the story follows a girl, who is the daughter of a lightsaber smith, and she is on the run from like dark forces. I guess, you could say Sith, but they're more like just dark users of the Sith, of the Force, and she's on this mission to escape them. And it's directed by Kenji Kamiyama, and it stars Shinatsu Akasaki, Shinichiro Miki, and Tetsu Konoe, along with many others. Um, so that's just a bit of background information on that. What I could do is I can bring up online. Let me go. Star Wars Visions, Episode 5 plot. If I remember this correctly, this is the one with a bunch of different Jedi. Let me. Okay, so here on Disney's Wikipedia site, it says many generations after the Jedi Order became mostly extinct, the Jedi ruler of the planet High Islan invites 7 masterless Jedi to his aerial temple in order to receive lightsabers whose design has been lost through time. Juro's droid gifts the first lightsaber to a young Jedi named Ethan, the youngest of the 7, as proof, promising the other Jedi that they will receive theirs once they are completed. Once on the planet's surface, hunters working for the Sith captured the sabersmith La Zima and La Zima's daughter Cara Zima, who is also a Force-sensitive being, escapes with the finished lightsabers, including one for herself, and presents them to the Jedi. However, the 6 accompanying Ethan reveal themselves as Sith imposters who killed the Jedi, invited by Juro, and came posing as them in order to murder Juro as well. Juro, who reveals himself to have been disguised as a droid all along. Ethan and Kara fight back and kill 5 of the Sith, but spare the 6th. Homan, who was revealed to be an old friend of Juro's and the only survivor of the 6 Masterless Jedi that had been corrupted by the dark side, but has now returned to the light. Ethan, Kara, and Homan join Juro's new Jedi Order and prepare to rescue La Zima, who is being held on a Sith-controlled planet. Okay, yeah, I remember this one. So, this one was actually pretty interesting to me because it brought another new sense of Star Wars, but it to me was the most intriguing, and so it was pretty interesting to see all these Jedi Padawans, if you could call them Padawans. Yes. Okie dokie. Sorry about that. But it was pretty interesting to see all these Jedi Padawans who have been lost uh, due to Order 66 and the extinction of Jedi, and they were reached through by the Force in order to find a new lightsaber and to train once more and to perhaps become Jedi Knights. And so once they reunited, they realized it was a trap and they fought back. But they died, like the synopsis said. Um, but even though the seven Jedi died, there were still survivors that were chosen for that. And those three survivors, the main character, the man dressed as a droid, and the third man who was related to the Sith, they teamed up and they decided to go find these other Sith and destroy them, see if they can help restore the Jedi Order. To me, that's always been an interesting part of Star Wars. And it's like, how do the Jedi rebuild themselves after all that happened and try not to be distracted from the past? And I think you saw that a lot in episode 8 and 9. Um, Whether you like the sequels or not, I don't think that's a big deal. But a key point of the sequels were Luke had created a new Jedi Order, and it was destroyed by Kylo Ren, his nephew. And Luke had felt like it was his fault, and so this kind of I can see it tied back to that because of this main character in this particular episode wanting to be a Jedi, going to train to be a Jedi, realizing it's a trap, feel like it's a mistake, and instead of cowering and going and hiding like Luke did, she instead takes the route of, okay, how do we stop these Sith and rebuild the Jedi Order? So that a pretty interesting aspect of it, and I think it was really neat to see. So moving on from episode 5, you then have Star Wars Visions episode 6. And this one was the robot that wanted to be a Jedi but wasn't, and he was raised by the old man. Yeah. So for that one, this one I found interesting. It was definitely one of the latter ones. Um, Maybe not one of the top of all of them, more towards the bottom, but it was also interesting because it focused on like a humanoid, I guess, or like a cyborg almost, because he is a robot, but at the same time he has feelings and he was created by the master and he could use the force, and I don't think robots can use the force. Um this was interesting because the robot itself was created by a Jedi who was in hiding, and the robot became smart. He helped his master by cleaning up, helped him with homework, helped him study, helped him learn and grow and develop. He helped the master. But then when it came time for the master to protect the robot, he did. And even though he died by the hands of an inquisitor, the inquisitor came back years later after the robot had discovered what had happened and he had trained and he had time to become a Jedi. Once he had his training, he went at the inquisitor returned. They fought and the robot was prepared, and that was something that I definitely did not expect to come from Star Wars, any part of Star Wars. Ooh, excuse me, because it's a droid and droids aren't usually force sensitive. That's why I don't think he was a full-on droid though, and I think he was more of a Padawan, or a not a Padawan, a cyborg, someone who's able to use the Force as a robot. But I think I really liked the animation style of this one a lot. I thought it was really neat to see, and it felt like a kid's cartoon, which was really neat. But at the same time, it had a darker tone, not the darkest of all tones, but it was pretty heavy-hearted compared. Yeah, I'd say heavy-hearted compared to the others. And so once again, it's just pretty interesting to see all um these different things and where they go and where they lead and how much creativity actually goes on here. So Star Wars Visions, that was 7 or 6. All right, so then episode 7, not The Force Awakens, but of Star Wars Visions. This focused on a Jedi and a Padawan. Seemed to be like during maybe the Clone Wars or maybe uh, during the bright days of the Republic. And they're traveling in space, this Master and Padawan, and they come across a planet and they land on the planet and they see children. It's called, so yeah. So the master and the apprentice go along on this planet. They meet children, they meet villagers, but the Padawan goes off by himself to journey to find new people to fix their ship. Well, the master does, but they go separate ways. And the Padawan goes and meets this Sith-like being called the Elder, and they have a fight. And the master can sense his Padawan is in danger, but doesn't know like how much danger or what's going on. So he goes to look for his Padawan, and he sees that his Padawan, I believe his Padawan dies, and so the master attacks the Elder and kills the Elder. Or maybe he doesn't die, but he gets badly injured if I remember. And this one was pretty interesting. I thought the Elder was definitely an interesting character, as he looked like Palpatine or Snoke, but he was so fast and so old, like so fast and so elegant um in what he did and how he fought, which was pretty interesting. And this art wasn't my favorite, but I think it's my best story. So not best artwork, but definitely best story, as I could definitely see that um being a part of something bigger in the world of Star Wars, because although you have the main character of Star Wars, which is Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, you have all these other characters, Obi-Wan, Luke, Leia, Yoda, and that's like your supporting cast. But then if you can branch out onto it, you have these like world building characters like a Boba Fett, or people in Clone Wars like Commander Cody or Captain Rex, Ahsoka Tano, and they help build worlds. And so I think this story, especially Episode 7, uh, really showed that Star Wars is more than just like the Skywalker saga. And even though like the main character is pretty crazy, pretty insane, I think it's very important to reach out and to do other stories involving perhaps minor characters that are also affected by the events of the Skywalker saga, and not just the rebels versus the Empire. So that's my take on it for episodes 5, 6, and 7. If you like what I said, that's good. If not, let me know how you feel. Maybe you feel a bit different. Maybe you didn't like how episode 7 went, or you really enjoyed episode 6 with the robot, whereas I wasn't as big as a fan. But overall, I think Star Wars Visions was a very good show, and I'll talk more about that in our finale next Tuesday as I recap 8 and 9 and finish this series off. And with that being said, I will let you guys go. Have a great night. I'll see you next Tuesday to end it all. So thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.